Hey ladies and gentlemen, Neo has something to say.
Parents have almost forgotten what the role of a parent is.
Amen.
It's like, okay,
Lost control.
if your little boy comes to you and says, Daddy, I want to be a girl, and you just let him rock with that,
Right.
he's 5.
Right. And where did he get that
If
from?
you let this 5-year-old boy decide to eat candy all day, he's going to do that.
Exactly.
Like, when did it become a good idea to let a 5-year-old, let a 6-year-old, let a 12-year-old make a life-changing decision for themselves?
Right.
When did that happen?
Right.
Like, I don't understand that. I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't understand why they are affirming everything, and even people, political Congress people are saying the same thing.
This is the food pyramid according to my 4-year-old and my 2-year-old daughters. By the way, in the Hunt House, we don't do Ben and Jerry's. It's Bluebell only.
You're goddamn right.
If my children had their way, they would have ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and for every single meal in between. Oh, the wisdom of children. But in a sane country, we know that children are mature enough to make adult decisions that will impact the rest of their lives. That's why we have parents. Children cry for ice cream, but as parents, we have the wisdom to know that ice cream is not in their best interest, particularly their long-term interest. I want to thank my parents, Willie and Diane Hunt. They had 3 children. All 3 of us went to West Point. All 3 of us served our country. All 3 of us earned multiple master's degrees from Ivy League schools. Do you know why? Because my parents did not give in to the thoughts of an adolescent Wesley Hunt. I am a United States congressman because my parents didn't listen to me when I was 8 years old. They raised us. They cared for us. They taught us the ways of being successful.
I mean, you heard it yourself. Do we have parents these days, or do we have people that find being a parent is such a horrible job? So they pay somebody else to do it or ask the government for help, and then I think you get this situation when other people can decide what is better for your own child.
And to medicate these young kids that are 5, 6 growing up and knowing that it affects their brain, it affects their organs, it makes them sick, but they're not allowed to do drugs, they're not allowed to do alcohol.
Right.
We can medicate
He
them
can't
up.
drive a car yet, but he can decide his sex.
Right, right. What sexual orientation, and he can cut up his pee-pee, and that, to me, that makes no sense.
It's not about making sense, it's about fear-mongering the kid. It's by confusing them. It's like when they wear pink, they will just tell the kids, hey man, you might be a girl. But then again, when I say I don't want my son to wear pink, they will say, well, pink doesn't have a color. I'm like, oh, wait, what? You can just change Google definition whenever you want? That's kind of convenient. Let me give you an example how a person got in such a situation and they're not really happy with the decision.
At the age of 12, I began to experience what my medical team would later diagnose as gender dysphoria. I was well into an early puberty, and I was very uncomfortable with the changes that were happening to my body. I was intimidated by male attention, and when I told my parents that I felt like a boy, in retrospect, all I meant was that I hated puberty, that I wanted this newfound sexual attention to go away.
The sad truth is that many people that have stopped doing this confirm the same thing. I was afraid, I wasn't sure, they didn't handle the thing over here, they just handled on the outside and affirmed everything.
I looked up to my brothers a little bit more than I did to my sisters. I came out as transgender in a letter I sent on the dining room table. My parents were immediately concerned. They felt like they needed to get outside help from medical professionals, but this proved to be a mistake. It immediately set our entire family down a path of ideologically motivated deceit and coercion. The gender specialist I was taken to see told my parents that I needed to be put on puberty-blocking drugs right away. They asked my parents a simple question: would you rather have a dead daughter or a living transgender son?
And an uninformed parent will never make the proper decision at that moment because it's all about love, especially with the things that they keep seeing on media. You kind of get afraid because you don't know what's going to happen, and you will always choose life because we're supposed to trust people wearing beautiful white clothes, right?
The choice was enough for my parents to let their guard down, and in retrospect, I can't blame them. This was the moment that we all became victims of so-called gender-affirming care. I was fast-tracked onto puberty blockers and then testosterone. The resulting menopausal-like hot flashes made focusing on school impossible. I still get joint pains and weird pops in my back, but they were far worse when I was on the blockers.
By the way, you're still here? Like, share, hit the bell notification. Let's go.
A month later, When I was 13, I had my first testosterone injection. It's caused permanent changes to my body. My voice will forever be deeper, my jawline sharper, my nose longer, my bone structure permanently masculinized, my Adam's apple more prominent, my fertility unknown. I look in the mirror sometimes and I feel like a monster. I had a double mastectomy at 15. There was nothing wrong with my still developing body or my breasts, other than that, as an insecure teenage girl, I felt awkward about it. And the skin grafts that they took of my nipples are weeping fluid today, and they were grafted into a more masculine positioning, they said. After surgery, my grades in school plummeted. Everything that I went through did nothing to address my underlying mental health issues that I had. And my doctors, with their theories on gender, thought that all my problems would go away as soon as I was surgically transformed into something that vaguely resembled a boy. Their theories were wrong. The drugs and surgeries changed my body, but they did not and could not change the basic reality that I am and forever will be a female.
I don't know if this is true, but I heard a rumor that they either passed or are trying to pass a law in LA that states if your child comes to you and asks to do some of these things and you say no, they can take your kid from you.
Yeah, that's true.
Imagine, they will tell you, if you don't do this, something bad is going to happen. If you don't agree, they will take your kid away. California, how the heck would you actually believe this is the most beautiful, senseless way to support LGBTQ? It's like, I don't know, man. It kind of feels that you are the bad guy. Maybe, I'm not sure. But it does feel so, right? Or do I need to speak as if I'm playing Minesweeper for my safety of my own kid?
Just passed in California.
That makes no sense.
They want us to have no control over our children.
I don't get it.
In schools,
I don't get it.
Hospitals, libraries.
Yeah.
They just want to manipulate. You got to understand, when they're so young and they're already, that's
impressionable.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And from them, they're going to believe what you say. I mean,
Yeah.
we say Santa Claus is real, the
And they
Easter Bunny.
believe it, like,
right,
come on.
exactly.
Like, you gotta
they know what they're doing.
Remember who you're dealing with. Like I can't take credit for it, but I heard somebody say one time, he's like, all right, if your son comes to you and says, Daddy, I want to be a girl, ask your son, what is a girl?
That's a good one.
What is he going to do? He's going to say, well, he might want to play with dolls. All right, you want to play with dolls, fine.
Which happened to me. My kid likes pink. They dressed him like a princess. I'm like, why? Because if I said I don't want him to wear a pink shirt, they would tell me, hey, colors don't have a gender. Then I'm like, why do you assume it on your side that he might be a girl? Why? Why just wear a dress? It's okay. At the second school, it happened twice to my kid. I'm like, why? They were like, well, it's just a dress. It doesn't mean anything. I said, no. You think it doesn't mean anything. Somebody is going to pass by and be like, hey, I think we need to handle this with a therapist. Are you going to inform the parents?
Dolls,
Right.
But you're a boy
Right.
playing with dolls.
That's
I want
right.
to wear pink. All right, cool. Wear pink, but you're a boy
That's right.
wearing pink. No issue with the LBGT. I have no problem with with nobody. Okay,
Right.
love who you love, do what you do.
Exactly.
I just personally come from an era where a man was a man and a woman was a woman, and it wasn't but two genders, and that's just how I rocked.
Me
now,
too.
you could identify as a goldfish if you feel it.
Right.
I don't care. That ain't my business. It becomes my business when you try to make me play the game with you. I'm not finna call you a
Right.
goldfish, but
Exactly.
you want to be a goldfish, you go be a goldfish. It's all good.
Amen.
I mean,
Well
yeah,
said.
it's just, we live in a weird time, man.
Act. Finland, Sweden, France, Norway, and the UK are reversing course and asking questions. In the UK, their only national gender clinic for children shut down last year by court order. What do their doctors know that our doctors don't?
So one thing you need to know about gender clinics. One, they are making a lot of money. Two, during COVID, a lot of people were on TikTok, and when it was kind of normal to be a transgender, the word transgender, the meaning is also very broad. So whenever you're not actually really happy with your body, you can already identify like that. I told people years ago, this is going to be an issue because why not? That feels kind of good if it can just be something different if you don't like what you are. So you're not going to be insecure anymore. You can just change your insecurity and make it something powerful. And it happened. Affirmed by psychologists, support, therapist, and yeah, that will try to point you in the right direction. Through me, it's the pipeline to make money, because the general clinics is making a lot of money with that. And the utopia is do the operation and life is good. And if you don't make the decision, the support psychiatrist and the therapist is going to move to somebody else. And certain people, when they're already with dysphoria, insecurity, when you get such an attention, you don't want to lose that. What's going to happen after? So yes, that's happened with Tavistock, and they approved too many things, and they realized there's something wrong with this at this moment. And that's why Sweden is louder, and America is the only one that kind of confirming right now, taking babies sometimes from people, because hey, seems like money is a very good motivator. Who knows? I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a banker, I'm not a therapist, I'm none of those things, or a scientist. I'm a pattern recognition expert. Let's just say that I noticed something weird. That's all. Okay, let me know what you think. If you're still here with me right now, like, share, hit the bell notification, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.